All right, good evening. My name is Lawrence Murray, and I am the Dean of Admissions at the Gabelli School of Business at Fordham University in Midtown, New York City in the United States. Next slide, please. I'm here to talk to you about our portfolio of specialized master's programs. As you can see, we have a wide variety of programs across a variety of different sectors and discipline areas. In the analytics portfolio, we have three programs: applied statistics and decision making, business analytics, and marketing intelligence. In the business technology portfolio, we have the Master of Science in Information Technology. In the finance vertical, we've got two programs, Global Finance and Quantitative Finance. In the management vertical, we have a Master's of Science in Management, Media Management program, and a Strategic Marketing and Communications program. And in the professional services vertical, we have two accounting and tax programs. As you can see, the majority of our programs are STEM designated, with the exception of the Strategic Marketing and Communications program and the Master of Science in Management program. I should also like to point out that our Strategic Marketing and Communication program is an online program. Next slide, please. While all of our programs are designed to arm you and to provide you with strong technical skills in any one of those different areas, we also believe really strongly in providing a well-rounded experience. And part of that well-rounded experience includes those skills that you're not necessarily going to learn in one of those technical classes. To help accomplish that, we created the Gabelli Leadership Certification. This is a program that is required of all business students. It includes a series of leadership assessments, leadership simulations, the opportunity to be paired with a leadership coach, and multiple opportunities throughout your time with us to leadership network. Again, this is a requirement of all students who are pursuing a master's program at the Gabelli School of Business. Next slide, please. So we know that there's no doubt that you are going to school to learn a technical skill in any one of those areas, but we also are very cognizant and aware of the fact that you're looking for that internship and post graduate job. Here is a list of the companies that represent where our career development team comes from. We have a full service career development office to support the students in our Master's of Science programs to help them network and develop the skills necessary to navigate the internship and the full-time job search. So here's a sample of some of those companies that our career development team, where they've worked at in the past. As you can see, this is a very strong background of some of the world's top organizations. So you're in great hands with our career development team. Next slide, please. When you think about a career development center, you think about all of the different types of activities that a career development center can offer students. And here's just a sampling of some of those offerings out of our career development center. There's one-on-one career advising, workshops and group sessions, career spotlight series where we bring in notable managers and or representatives of companies. They get an opportunity to share insights about their firm, about themselves, and about their career journey. We do mock interviews or practice interviews. We have corporate information sessions, and we have a very robust alumni networking program. I'm going to talk a little bit about the on-campus recruiting and company site visits. Obviously, in the current pandemic that we're in, we're not doing any on-campus activities, but we have a very robust virtual campus recruiting initiative. With many of those firms that you saw on the previous slide, they have set up virtual connections. In fact, in the U.S., most of the recruiting at the specialized master's programs actually started to shift into this virtual recruiting a couple of years ago. So the current global health pandemic accelerated that. In addition, we do virtual company visits, and this gives the students, a much larger group of students, the opportunity to interact with representatives from companies, learn a little bit more about those companies and about the roles that they potentially could have for internships and full-time jobs. Next slide, please. Here are some of the companies that are represented, those students, the companies that hire students for their internships and full-time jobs. Again, as you can see, similar to the group of companies that are represented by the staff of the Career Development Center, this is yet another group of very, very strong, worldwide, world-renowned companies, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies that are recruiting our students across all of our specialized master's programs for internships as well as for full-time jobs. Next slide, please. So we're in the heart of New York City. There are approximately 10,000 Fordham Gabelli alumni in the New York tri-state area. In the tri-state, that includes the state of New York, the state of New Jersey, and the state of Connecticut. There are more than 40,000 Fordham Gabelli alumni around the world, and then more than 200,000 actually Fordham University alumni worldwide. So wherever you go, you're going to have the opportunity to connect and engage with faculty members. We also recognize it would be silly of me not to say anything about the impact that the global health pandemic has had on a variety of sectors in industry, the employment. And this is a worldwide phenomenon. We're no different. So without a doubt, we have seen a softening of some areas within the hiring organizations. But we've developed really strong relationships, and we're working very closely with companies and our alums to source opportunities for students for internships as well as for full-time employment. Next slide, please. While we strongly focus on what you're getting inside the classroom, those technical skills, whether you're in business analytics, accounting, finance, or media management, the experience that you're going to get in the classroom is really only about half the experience that you're going to get when you come to graduate school. The other half of the experience is all of the things that happen outside of the classroom, and that includes your engagement and participation in student clubs and organizations. So here's just a small sampling of some of the student organizations that we have here at the Gabelli School of Business. Your Fordham Women in Business. We have more career-focused clubs like the Fordham Finance Society and the Management Consulting Association. We have industry-focused clubs like the Media and Entertainment Alliance. We have affinity organizations like Fordham Women in Business and the Black and Hispanic MBA Association. We also have a Chinese Business Students Association. And then we have more sort of special interest clubs like Net Impact for those students who are interested in really connecting the triple bottom line and understanding ethics and what the components that plays in business with purpose. And then we also have some fun clubs, and we have a growing number of sports clubs. Here at the Gabelli School of Business, there is a table tennis club. We have a soccer club, like the rest of the world calls it football, a soccer club. We have an ultimate frisbee club. We have a wine club, microbreweries of certain kind of beers. That's growing popularity in the Northeast, and we just started a microbrewing club a couple of years ago. So without a doubt, we have a strong expectation that you will take advantage of obviously what's going on in the classroom, but also those opportunities to engage with your fellow classmates, alumni, representatives from companies in these activities outside of the classroom as well. Next slide, please. I'm going to go over the application requirements. I mean, they're pretty similar to some of the other sessions that you've seen or seen today. You need to submit a resume, your official transcripts, as well as if it's you need the transcripts evaluated. GMAT or GRE, we take either one. Some waivers may be available. We've expanded the number of our programs that offer GMAT and GRE test waivers. To see if you qualify for one of those test waivers, you can go to our website. We do require a language competency exam for those students whose native language is not English. You can submit a TOEFL, the IELTS, the Pearson test for English, the PTE, or the Duolingo English test. All of these exams now have an at-home version if you're in a situation where you can't actually sit for the exam. So that shouldn't be a problem for you to do one of the online versions. We require essays, recommendation letters, and then most students are invited to an admissions interview. And the admissions interview is an opportunity for you to get to know us a little bit better and for us to get to know you a little bit better as well. Next slide, please. Here are our application deadlines. This is pretty straightforward. You can see that our first deadline is October 23rd, and our last deadline is June 11th. A lot of students will ask, what deadline is the best deadline to apply for? The only answer we can give to that is the deadline in which you feel that you're submitting the strongest application. We do have a preference for students with merit-based financial aid or merit-based scholarships. We would like those students to apply by the January 22nd deadline, but we're not going to turn away really strong students who apply in the later rounds. But we want you to apply when you feel that you've submitted the best application to make the best impression on the admissions committee. Next slide, please. Here are our costs. Again, pretty straightforward. You can go to our website for the updated cost, but it includes, when you're thinking about funding your education, think about tuition and then the fees. And there are some one-time enrichment fees as well as semester fees. All the details of that can be found. There's a link on this slide as well as you can go to our website. Next slide, please. Here's just some information about how to finance your degree. We do offer generous merit-based scholarships to all students, whether they're domestic students or international students. They range from $15,000 to $35,000. We have graduate assistantships, continuing student scholarships once you've enrolled, and then we partner with a couple of student loan companies specifically for international students. Next slide. Here's just some ways to contact us and engage with us. There are some hyperlinks on this page. Again, you can go to our website to find more information. Next slide. Some people have asked some questions that have come up is sort of what's been our response to COVID-19. We've expanded our use of test waivers for the GMAT and GRE. We've extended our deadlines into June. We've made a heavy investment in educational technology to ensure that those students who have to join us remotely or the rest of our students who are doing a hybrid approach are taking advantage of the best technology out there for education technology. Investment in instructional design and training our faculty members. We have a hybrid environment, so if you happen to be in the U.S. in New York City, you can do a combination of online and in person, and then if you're remote, you're currently abroad or not in the U.S. or the New York tri-state area, you can do your courses online. We have very strict health and safety protocols, and then obviously on-campus density reduction and social distancing. Next slide, please. Here's just some contact information for the different programs and the point of contact if you have questions about anything. And next slide, please. And there is our WeChat. So if you have any questions about anything related to our programs, life in the U.S., life in New York City, what's it like to be a Chinese student who's doing classes remotely, any of those questions, feel free to chat with us on WeChat. Thank you. Now I'll take some questions if there are any. I see some in the chat box.
All right, thanks for your great sharing, and that's awesome. We already have students ask a question here, so we're gonna pick first one is any alumni association in China?
We do have an alumni chapter in China, and there's a chapter in Beijing, and there's a chapter in Shanghai. So again, if you want, we are more than happy to connect you with our alumni. We have an alumni WeChat as well. So just reach out to us and we will connect you with our alum there in China.
Okay, and next one is there still possible for Chinese graduates to find a job or interns given the current political pressure?
Yes, I know that there's a lot of noise about our current administration and some of the challenges. I feel bad because the image that is portrayed around the world is that we don't want international students, and that's completely not true. universities, business schools, we definitely value the diversity that the students bring us. Yes, you can still get an internship or a full-time job with those companies that are hiring international students in the U.S. Most of our students, our international students, landed internships, and upon graduation, they had some type of postgraduate employment, whether that was a long-term internship or a full-time job.
All right, thanks for your great answers. So that will be all for your session. Thanks so much for bringing us this opportunity to learn about Fordham. Thank you.
Bye-bye.